to enjoy it. We want it to fit into your lifestyle, not the other way around, and we want it to make you healthier at a lot of levels. There's a lot of camaraderie that comes out of the program, friendships. We have people that are, their friendships are deep and long, people that become best friends out of this training program. So it's a lot of it is just having good company. The running is, if you go to just about any doctor these days, they're going to tell you that if you're leading a very busy lifestyle, and you want to get bang for your buck as far as putting time in and getting results back, running is the most efficient. And there's all kinds of activities in Charleston. They're all wonderful. But if you're looking to build your cardiovascular system, burn some calories, looking to get outdoors, enjoy the seasons, you can do, in a limited amount of time, you can get a lot accomplished in that regard. So we now know that running is actually really good for you if you do it properly. And you're on top of your equipment, you're on top of your training, you're paying attention, your body signals. It's actually a really safe sport, and is actually, many doctors are now recommending running and walking as physical activity. And it's the notion of pushing off the ground, that's the really important thing. So that can hurt you if you're not careful, but it's really quite beneficial long term. So how the program works, we have 6 programs within the program. Program number 1 is for you guys just starting out, literally just starting out, out of shape, you're overweight, you used to run, you've never run, you're coming off of some illness, whatever. There's a variety of reasons why people go into program 1. There are people that have been training and have fallen off the wagon, things have happened, you start at program 1. Program 2 is, I think it's I wrote the program, so I don't even, it's a mile today. So it works its way up from there. You guys got the programs, and so I'm not going to go through every single one of them. The big thing to know is that it's fluid. So it doesn't, in any given week, depending on how you feel, there isn't a secret code to each group. There isn't like you have to present your card. There isn't, the captains aren't going to be saying, hey, what are you doing here? You weren't here last week. It's none of that. And you're going to find the fluidity is usually the water moves downward. So things happen. The wintertime, weather, sickness, family stuff, travel. So you're in program 4 and you fall behind a little. The beauty, I think, one of the beauties of the program is the layers. You can actually move to another program. And usually it's downward, which is, I hate using the word downward because it sounds negative, but you want to be realistic. So the key is never to reach beyond where your current ability is. Forget about your potential, where are you at currently? So Cynthia, she made it to the Olympic trials. She can run in her day 6-minute pace for a marathon. Where is Cynthia today? Completely different. At 59 years old, very different person. So her ability, what her potential is long past. So what her current fitness level is where she trains. And that's, you have to be mature with that and be realistic. So forget about your past. You want to what you are currently. If you've gained weight, if you've been sick, if you now have a job that's 60 hours a week, you have to realistically figure out how you're gonna fit this in and have it be comfortable. Okay, so we meet every Saturday, and we literally do meet every Saturday, regardless of weather, unless it's lightning or ice or snow, and it'll be posted. Leah, I'm assuming we'll post it earlier.
Yeah, well, I'll send an email, post it on Facebook, post it on Twitter,
She and I
Instagram,
usually
everywhere.
talk at like 6 or 6:30 in the morning and make a decision with Kathy on what to do. I am not big on icy sidewalks. I'm sorry, it's just not worth it. So it doesn't mean you don't come out, but we won't be here as a group. The lectures will get shorter and shorter as the winter goes on for 2 reasons. One, there's less for me to say, which you're gonna love because I tend to chatter. The second reason is it's gonna get colder. And cold is not an excuse to stop running or walking. The cool thing about cold is the longer you're out there, the more you warm up. So it's always 15 degrees greater than the air temperature. So if it's 30 degrees, you're gonna feel 45, which is actually pretty good for exercising. So we do meet every Saturday. I'll talk to you very briefly. Any questions, you'll ask them, and then divide you into groups. And when you get your groups, and the captains, I have to remind them of this, so captains listen up, you're gonna break the group down into paces. And so what your pace is your current conversational pace. What can you do pace-wise while you're still talking. So for me, it used to be 7-minute pace. Now I'm drifting closer and closer all the time to 11. I've been in the flirting. Once I got to 10, I was like, oh my God, I never thought I'd be a 10-minute pace runner. And now I embrace it. I love it because I'm able to, it's interesting, I'm still burning the same amount of calories. I'm still working just as hard as 7-minute pace. I'm just a lot older and I'm slower, but the effort is still there. And I really embrace it. I love it. I never ever start my watch when I go for a run unless it's someplace I don't know. I'm just going to base it on my breathing and how I feel. And as long as you're sweating, you're doing good. So you got to be able to talk. All right, so you're going to get broken into paces. And then we always start with at least 1 or 2 laps on this beautiful track. So we're very fortunate that the university opens the gates to this every week because this is an athletic facility that belongs to the university. So we're not going to kick a soccer ball around up at Klockner ever or play basketball. As nice as Tony Bennett is, if we all went in there to shoot around, hey Tony, we're just in here to take some shots. So the track is open most of the week, pretty neat. So we're going to do 2 laps on the track, and there's lots of reasons to do that, to align your pace, to get the pace down, but also to start chatting with people. It's safe, there's no cars, it doesn't break the group up. And then the big thing is if you're running late. So if you're running late, the captains will have their signs up for your group and you say, oh, there they are, off I go. And that will happen from time to time. So today, there's no way you could be late today because of the longer lecture today. You've got to be able to communicate with me when things go astray. So this is kind of a hands-off coach. It'll be at first, you'll say, okay, it's a big group, it's one guy, seems a little gruff, I'm not so sure about him. You've got to be able to communicate. And there's several ways you can get me. It's in the booklet.
Sweetheart.
So you can text me, you can stop by and see me, you can call me. I do email, but I don't publish the email address because I'm now up to almost 3 hours a night answering emails, and I just, got a marriage, got kids, got to get sleep. So anyway, I always like getting to know you face to face anyway, better that way. And why would you communicate with me? What's that about? The programs, as you notice, the Saturdays are pretty locked, but during the week it's written out. But there's hardly anybody, except program 1 and maybe 2, where they want to follow that exactly to the T because you're just starting out. Many of you are already doing more than that tells you so program 3, 4, 5. So what I'm getting at is the weekdays I can adjust it for you. The key is to spread them out. Some of you say, I'm running 4 or 5 days a week and this only has 3. Well, let's add it in there. So we want to make it as personalized as possible. The second reason is the more important reason to communicate with me is when you're hurt. So I already have one person come up to me today saying her ankle's bothering her. You do not want to run on pain. It's not that kind of game. It's no way. Particularly if it's one side of the body. So if your pain is on one side, that's trouble. And it isn't trouble like, oh God, it's all over, I'm not going to be able to do this. But one side of the body means don't keep moving. Come to me, if I have a 24-hour rule, get in touch with me within 24 hours, because then we can get rid of it within 2 or 3 days rather than 3 or 4 or 5 weeks. The longer you run on pain that's on one side of your body, the longer it's going to linger. So communicate, very important. That's a lot of times face-to-face because I'm going to want to see your journal. I'm going to ask you a lot of questions about your lifestyle. Have you been traveling lately? How's sleep going? Is there anything abnormal you're doing in your life? And I'm going to want to see your shoes. Not to try and sell you a pair, but to see if anything's going astray. So very important to bring your log. And by the way, you each got a booklet today. I'd like for you to read that booklet when you get home. If you've done it before, I have changed the booklet up a little bit, so you might notice some changes. If you're new, please read it. The other important thing is the training log. That log I'd like for you to stay on top of. I know it's a modern era of everything going into your phones and your watches, and you're back into your computer. The problem with that is quite often you're not looking at it. Writing stuff down, it forces you to say, whoa, I ran that first mile too quickly of that run, and that's why that run was really not so great. And that's tip number 1. Your runs, your slowest part of your run, the natural way to warm up and stretch isn't pushing. You don't do any of this, not before you run. Or pulling. That's a big no-no. We don't do any of that stuff anymore. That's like big X. Your way to warm up properly and stretch is to start slowly. So I told you earlier, I'm almost 11-minute pace now with my running. My first half mile might be 12 or 13-minute pace. It's like a faster walk. And I don't get hurt, knock wood. It just doesn't happen. I'm really cautious about that. If I fall, I'm going to get hurt, but I'm not going to get hurt because of misbehaving. So that first part is the slowest. You save that static stretching, pushing and pulling for afterwards. All right, so the captains. The captains are, I think they're the heart of the program. I'm the coach, I'm the boss. They're the popular ones. They're the ones that are, they're the cool people, but they're also the ones that are really out here. I'm going to see you for a few laps on the track, and then I have to go to work. They're out there. They're going to run with you. They're going to design courses. So I'd like to have the captains that are here today come on up if they can.